And so we find ourselves once again in a den of Stamatons. That's a weird way to put that. Can't even talk to this one today. Should just wound up back at the capital. He called me a bastard and hit me. The polyhedron is his and his brother's creation. In his family, Victor Kane is closest to the real world. Human and weakness aren't foreign to him. He drinks at the pub. Is he at the pub? Is Victor here? Victor Kane. Green Serpent. Today, Vlad the younger Ogimsky sits in the Twirine Den. Wait, how many characters are currently in this pub? That's neither of those the person I came here to talk to. And it's also not Stamaton brothers. Mercury and several other children haven't been seen in a couple days. Schmouder. I hold a cure for the plague in my hands. At least that's what this tiny girl claims, and asked me to verify it. Where'd you get this mixture? Even an adult's body wouldn't withstand such side effects, let alone a child's. In the Central District hides a children's laboratory from which dangerous medicines spread throughout the town. An inspector is coming to them now. Me. There's the bit about Georgie. Once again, I go to Georgie's workshop, trying to comprehend his brother's great mind. Local justice satisfies all parties, but has nothing in common with my notions of fairness. The town is a crucible where opposing ideologies impossibly mix. Only Simon knew how to fuse them together. Is this an Ogimsky? Yeah, it is. No, it's a Kane.
Believes that Simon was reborn as Clara. Madmen. They were hounding her only yesterday.
What I meant to say is specifically it's not the Stamaton that I thought it was from behind. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. Enter the Inquisitor. The Inquisitor, you say? I'm not afraid of her. I don't want you to think that I am. I'm not afraid of her, so that's one thing. You've already said that you're not afraid of her twice, so I don't know if I believe you. And two, I'm not afraid of her at all. Oh. This is not how a normal person speaks. You seem pretty afraid of her. What I'm saying is that fear has nothing to do with it. She is not coming as an Inquisitor, but as a sister. She is not coming to see them. She's coming to see us. And here we have a conflict of interests, if the Inquisition was even any use in the first place. Never seen you like this before. I can barely make out what you're saying. Tomorrow, Aglaya Lilich, an Inquisitor, is coming to the town. What does an Inquisitor want with us? Inquisitors are trained to solve unsolvable problems. The almighty powers that be send them wherever a situation calls for a non-linear solution. But unsolvable problems are seldom solved without bloodshed. She'll leave no stone unturned. Whatever we've nurtured, she'll uproot. Whatever we've grown, she'll drown. Whatever we've hidden, she'll drag out into the light. Perhaps this isn't a bad thing. You call turning order on its head not a bad thing? You'll be executed too, Dankovsky. You're daring, headstrong, exceptional. To someone like Aglaya, a person like you is a problem that needs to be solved. The Inquisition is different from the other authorities. Let's see. I haven't done anything to merit capital punishment. I'll make the Inquisitor realize that I accidentally turned on my controller. Unturn on, please. Thank you. Had it been a different Inquisitor, I would have said they were coming to solve the plague, to find a formula of salvation, a task at which both you and we have failed. But that's not the reason Aglaya Lilich is coming. Then what is? To destroy Simon and Nina's work, I suppose. A statement like that calls for an explanation. Aglaya Lilich is Nina's sister. Maria believes Aglaya is driven by envy, by her all-or-nothing approach, but with a rational twist. Nina was life itself, in all its vicious glory. She had so much life inside her that there was none left for Aglaya. She's a walking formula, and formulas don't like it when rules are broken. The Stamatins use formulas to build the polyhedron. You can't build a new world by relying on intuition alone. We should combine calculations and scholarship with visionary, daring ideas. The polyhedron never would have floated in the sky if we hadn't doubted the force of gravity. Thanatica is based on the same ideals. I doubt death's inevitability, but I still take microbiology seriously. Aglaya can't stand the very concept. Does she envy Nina? I don't think so. I think she just despises anyone who dares to challenge their own doom. She will arrive tomorrow, and she'll do everything in her power to screw up both of our lives. Come on, let's have a drink. Sure. That's just foreshadowing the arrival of Aglaya, but is not a quest for me to act on today. Hello. More of what I'm looking for. That's handy.
How heavy is a head?
The perfect shape. A circle in the center. The small circle of a park. From it, boulevards radiate in all directions. They split life into sectors, and life spreads outwards like ripples on water. Is this how you want this town to be, or are these just general musings? Everything should be different. Absolutely everything. A garden city could have stood here. Have you heard of such a thing? It is a protest against industrial expansion. The idea is that a city should be designed in such a way that it is pleasant to walk along its boulevards, pleasant to look out its windows, with wide streets and sensible, appropriate decor. So it is nothing like where we are. The Canes don't need a pleasant town, they need a complex town, one that creates daily obstacles for the body and soul. So they just admit it. The ordinary people, they especially don't need a pleasant town. They live as they live, build as they build, and they hate it when you try to interfere with those natural excrescences. But that's hypocritical. You can discuss such matters at all only because your father has provided everything for you. Do you think I am not ashamed before my father? Not only am I not his successor, but I didn't even turn out to be a worthy opponent. Plowing through the town, breaking down houses and tearing up streets. After all, that's a sure way to quarrel with the Canes and frighten people by bringing change. I tried to improve life gradually, drop by drop. Drop by drop. Why are you speaking in the past tense? There's still time. The Inquisitor is coming. Did you know? Yes, I know. You know, I've never encountered the Inquisition, but I've always been fascinated by them. They say they see just decisions as if they were drawn in the air with a T-square ruler. I believe that his judgment will be just, and that all the guilty will receive their due. Maybe then this whole disjointed life will finally straighten itself out. You talk as if you believe to deserve... You talk as if you believe you deserve to be executed because the streets of the town are uneven. You need to sleep it off, lad. Another sad person hanging out. Vlad the Younger worries for his family on the eve of the governing Inquisitor's arrival. Alas, I can't help him. Victor warns to beware of the powers representative for the town, and for me. Tomorrow's arrival is an ill omen. They're both resettable. I wonder what that functionally means. Maybe like at some later point there'll be a context where it makes sense to I'll have like a different thing I can say to them. Based on some information for some other day. Because right now I'm like, why is that both an individual quest and one that you can reset to change? I'm like, what other... It's just a conversation that had like no choices in it. Anna Angel. She looks younger than I remember. Nasty rumors circulated about this highly unpleasant woman. Either she killed someone or she stole some children. I only heard it all in passing, though. This town seems to be a refuge for dozens of people who wish to disappear off the face of the earth.
Hope springs eternal, but you're at the wrong river.
What do you want? Don't touch me. I said don't touch me. Have you been in this town long? I haven't seen you before. No, you haven't. What are you gawking at? Oh, nothing in particular. I just pester random people in pubs when I'm bored. The other options are like, hey, what's the going rate for kids these days? If you're a trafficker, right? Like they come out and say it outright. It's wild. I'm warning you. The last person who harassed me here ended up losing an eye. Just ask Stamerton. I apologize. I get carried away. Some kids in town went missing recently, and I just, you know, such a good person that I wouldn't let anyone hurt kids. Insane line of dialogue to say to somebody. What does it have to do with me? Am I chief of child supervision now? You know exactly why I'm asking you specifically. Word is that you kidnapped children. That you're involved with some sinister gang. There are plenty of rumors about you, too. What, are you surprised? I didn't recognize you at first, but you're that doctor from the capital they've put in charge of fighting the sand pest. You're also an opium addict and a tyrant, a man who issues decrees to burn down houses, who withholds bodies from mourning relatives, and who snatches healthy people off the streets for your experiments. I had no idea I was so popular. So you understand that some rumors are nothing but lies. Sure, but do note that no one has ever called me a child abductor. Well, I had this stint with a traveling circus. I was a gymnast and a barker, and there were some children who performed with us, yes, and maybe some of them started off in the audience, and maybe some of them never went home afterwards. It did happen, but it was a long time ago. Suppose a lumberjack hangs up his axe one day, and then years later, a tree falls in the forest. Surely you wouldn't say that it fell because the lumberjack was swinging his axe around in his past life, would you? We walked back the I'm not a child trafficker really quickly. If I was told that a tree fell in the forest and a lumberjack had been seen in its vicinity the previous day, you get the idea. It's a similar situation with kidnappers. My head was killing me yesterday, but the children were being so damn noisy. I asked them to go play somewhere else, that's all. Besides, I couldn't have kidnapped them even if I wanted to. Have you seen those nasty little urchins? I wouldn't touch one with a tightrope walker's pole. Disgusting. So you asked them to leave. Did you send them toward a specific place? Yeah. I told them to go to hell. Feel free to look for them there. I thought they got the point and left, but I woke up this morning to the sound of a creaking swing and children laughing. Again. So, here I am, because at least there's no kids running around inside a pub. Wait, you saw the children this morning? No, I heard them. Like I said, I couldn't bear listening to that awful swing creak again, so I said screw it and came here. The only place in town the little rats can't scurry into. They'll get away with anything they want at this point. Even their own parents walk on eggshells around them. Ah, I see. You made up the story about the creaky swing. Now I'll go and check, and you're going to run away. Run away? No, I can't be bothered to. Oh, it should be completely gone. Just use quartz lamps to disinfect public spaces? Where did I get that idea from? I don't remember any mention of quartz lamps in the previous conversation. Huh. Well, this little pub turned out to be all sorts of, full of all sorts of characters. Burn me.
Everything's so vibrant.
These methods of playing with your mania are not very effective. She says the kids are like right here, and it's both local and not currently full of plague stuff, so it's certainly worth checking out. It's actually surreal that the entire right side of the city is completely clean. None of those zones have anything dangerous going on in them, really. They're keeping him in, but then he can't go in the house or something? Like, what's going on with the door? It definitely looks like a plague house. Those graves? No. Those are clotheslines. That sure looks like murky.
There's a crow in the oak saying croak and croak and croak.
What? Did you get kicked out too? Kicked out from where? By whom? From the hideout. We were playing hide and seek, and Sticky kicked me out. He said I was peeking, but I wasn't. Do you want me to speak with him? Tell me where Sticky is, and I'll go right away and tell him that you weren't peeking. I can't tell you. Bear said a hideout everyone knows about isn't a hideout anymore. Isn't a hideout anymore. It's alright, you can tell me. Bear and I are friends. How do I know you're you? Maybe you're a Bok Holdoy. Is there any way to check I'm not a Bok? Is there a way to check if I am a Bok Holdoy? Tell me a story. A fairy story. Bear says good people tell good stories, and Bok Holdoy don't know any stories because they've got no heart. Fine. A fairy story it is. Any special requests? 3 days ago, you listened to a hazelnut, started telling a story and never finished it. That wasn't fair. Bear says stopping a story halfway through is a dastardly thing to do. Only a Bok Holdoy would do that. A good person always tells a story all the way through to its happy ending. Ah, yes. I remember that. It was about Lilith and Quirky, wasn't it? Yes. I want to know what happened to Lilith and Quirky. Tell me, or you're Buck Holdoy. Alright, let's go. Lilith and Quirky, you say? Once upon a time, in an old town in the steppe, there lived a sister and a brother, Lilith and Quirky, and they had 2 friends, whose names were Jaybird and Sticky. Yes, exactly. Thank you, little girl. Well, one day a shaman named Bavai came to town. People gathered in the town square, and the shaman Bavai showed them his tricks. Exactly. He showed them his magical moving tattoos. Black skulls clacked their teeth on his chest. Snakes slithered on his skin, from his shoulders to his neck and all around his head, and black gulls grazed on his hairy back. But that wasn't all. As Quirky looked closer at a tattoo on the shaman's chest, he saw it was He saw Quirky's a girl. Yes, sorry, Quirky saw tattoos on the shaman's chest that weren't skulls, but the faces of her missing mom and dad. Well, that night, like any other night, Lilith and Quirky were sleeping in their hideout. A quiet sound woke Lilith up. She looked over at Quirky, and even though it was dark, she could see tattooed black snakes crawling on her sister's neck. Frightened, Lilith took Quirky to some water to wash the snakes off, but you can't wash off a tattoo. Yes, the tattoos wouldn't come off, and one of them crept over onto her palm. Then Quirky hit her sister and disappeared into the water, as though she'd been dissolved in it. Lilith didn't know who to turn to. The town only had one doctor, an incredibly handsome fellow named Daniil Dankovsky. The very one. There's a lot to say about him, but the most important thing you should know is he's a good person, and definitely not a Bokoldoi. And this dashing doctor examined the magical tattoo on Lilith's palm, shook his head gloomily, and clicked his tongue, like this, which usually didn't bode any good. What was the deal with Quirky? The doctor told her that Bavai had infected Quirky with a terrible sickness in order to lure him out of the hideout and snatch him. Now Quirky was walking through the steppe right into Bavai's giant bear paws. So Lilith had to. Quirky's a girl. Yeah, yes, sorry. Quirky is walking through the steppe right into Bavai's giant bear paws. So in order to save her, Lilith had to. Follow Quirky's footprints. In order to find Quirky, Lilith had to let tattoos cover her whole body, and that hurt a lot. So, to make the tattoos grow faster, the great doctor gave her a bottle of ink. Not bad. Yes, Lilith drank the ink, and moving tattoos covered her entire body. A map of the steppe appeared on her stomach, and Lilith set off on a journey to find Quirky. She walked through the steppe for a whole month. Yes, she walked through the steppe for a whole month, until all of a sudden, tattooed footprints began to appear on her skin. The tattoos seemed to run around her body. They were the footprints of bears. Bear tracks appeared on the ground as well, and all of a sudden a whole pack of those ferocious animals surrounded Lilith. They were about to tear Lilith apart when she recognized her mom and dad. Yes, precisely. The bears were on the verge of tearing Lilith apart when she started singing, and the bears recognized the song. It was the lullaby Mom and Dad used to sing to her at bedtime. And although Lilith's mom and dad had been turned into bears, they recognized her, came closer and nestled up to her. Together, they... You're supposed to say they went? Because these don't line up grammatically. Off to find Bavai and kick his butt. Exactly. They banded together to take on Bavai. His lair happened to be close by, and when they went inside, they saw... lots of children. Exactly. For years, the shaman had been kidnapping them and making them his slaves. You steal men's souls and make them your slaves. He fed on children because he was a Bokodoi, and only Lilith could defeat the Bokodoi because she had a gun. Right. I don't think you're listening to me. She didn't have any weapons, other than her sharp mind, of course. Boring. Why can't she have a gun? There's no pleasing you, is there? Alright, if you want a gun, then a gun it is. She drew her revolver, fired from the hip, and put 200 bullets in the shaman's chest, never missing once. That's the coolest story in the world. I like Lilith. I want to be like her. I need a gun. I need a gun. Oh my. If I give you a gun, will you tell me where your hideout is? Bear says kids shouldn't have guns, but maybe you could talk to him and he let you take your gun. He's at the hideout right now. It's really close by on the riverbank. That means it's not far from here. I'm gonna go and have a look. I hope your friends are still there. I'm dying of post-story heart attack. Help me. Ah, swing. That is helpful.
High strung.
Here, 2 steps from this. Oh, that's the children. That's the dangerous schmouter. The rest of the children should be behind the factory. It's all the way back there. Not what I expected. Got a solid case of the mania sprints going on. Alright, well, right back down to the bar, but next to the bar. Go figure when it's basically right next to where we started. The mania speed boost would be so helpful if it wasn't also coming with the constantly taking down health. Which is obviously the point. Are they in the train? Yeah, a little far off from the circle, but not bad. There's Artemy after all.
Get over it.
Get over it. You. How did you know where we'd be? No one ever comes back here. Isn't this the house that I was camping out in Pathologic 2 to do my work? The Harrispex' hideout. Tell me, M. Shen, have you ever heard the story of the rat catcher of Hamlin? No. Who's that? It's the old tale of a man who kidnaps all the children from a town and kills them.
Snips and snails and puppy dog tails.
Whoa, tell us more. No, don't do it. That last story, I feel like might have been the longest conversation we've ever had in this game so far. Every last child? Why? Why did he kill them? I see you don't trust me, physician. After what you did to Nara, I couldn't say. Shiard Lagatai, Hemshen. I did what I had to. Like I always do. The children need saving, so I saved them. Send them to the polyhedron. There are lots of children there already, and if I understand it correctly, it's a perfect isolation ward. The plague won't get in there. I don't like the polyhedron. Ayul Tai. It's not safe. You think they're safer here? How is this nook better than any other district? The area is abandoned. Almost no one comes here. I've checked all over, and this is the safest place for the children. Bear takes care of us, and in the evenings he tells us stories. Hey, want to hear a story? He takes care of you, but neglects himself. You're risking the gallows for this, Buruk. People are already spreading nasty rumors, and this will only make it worse. That's why I want you on my side, Emshen. When the time comes, you can support me. You know I haven't kidnapped the children. This support could cost me dearly. I understand, physician. They're still looking for the children, though. If I were you, I'd tell the town they're fine and you haven't kidnapped them after all. You have a point there. Sticky, go visit the Sabarovs on the Rod. Tell them I haven't eaten you. Aye, sir. Insane. Insane line of dialogue. Go tell them I haven't eaten you. Well, that resolves that, though. Actually, a relatively cleared out map. Currently down to the Schmouder quest, and also if I want to go buy some shiny shards to make a chunk of the map light up and send me there too. I'm also doing alright on resources, so when I reset it, I should be able to loop back tomorrow and do the projectile relatively quickly. We'll have to see how the game handles whatever districts turn out to be infected that time. And there's just a bit of randomness to trying to figure out which one you need to go to that time for the ghost. No, Shamli. Don't you go there. It's gonna kill you. They say yesterday at the range it ripped a bull's spine right out. Think how strong it ought to be to tear out a spine easy as picking a flower. So you say it killed a bull. You reckon it's gonna stop eating once we're out of bulls? No shot. A wild beast is always fixing to rip someone's throat. If we don't put it down, It's gonna come to town after our children. Hey, I know you. You're that doctor that gave our town on a they gave our town on a platter. Now tell us, doctor. We got a beast all but roaming the streets, killing livestock. So why aren't you dealing with it? As you've pointed out, I'm a doctor, not a hunter. If that beast injures or infects someone, send them to me. Otherwise, it's not my job. What do you mean it's not your job? You've been all too happy to grab the power with your sweaty palms. But soon as you smell a wolf's breath, you're out. Who's gonna protect us from the wolf? She is huge, like 20 feet tall or so. I've never seen anything like it. Wolf, my butt. It's a bear, I'm telling you. You see them claw marks? Paws huge as skillets, and it roars like a bear too. I've heard it lives underground, digging them tunnels. It pulls you down and then it picks your bones bare. I see. The bear-wolf mole, a most dangerous predator. That's 'cause scarcely anyone's seen it. And them who did wouldn't live to tell. That thing is quick as a shiv. Before you know it, it'd be dragging you into its lair and gnawing on your spine. That's why I'm telling Shamil, don't you go to the cemetery. So the beast is settled at the cemetery. The train cemetery. It's out in the sticks, along the rails past the station. The thing even fixed itself a nest. We hear it every evening, howling at the moon, scratching its back on the metal. A nest? So this bear-wolf mole is part bird as well? You think it's funny, Doctor? Go on then, laugh. I've been laughing myself. I'd been laughing myself until I heard that ghastly howling with my own ears. Wherever this beast came from, it's gonna slaughter us all, I'm telling you. I really hope there's some hybrid monstrosity living out there. Otherwise, I'll be terribly disappointed. He's such a sassy little shithead. Eerie sounds are coming from the train graveyard. I'll go check it out carefully. Are steppe spirits attacking people now, or is it mating season? Townsfolk are gathering with pitchforks and torches to defeat the monster. Knowing their superstitious nature, they might do something irreversible. Yeah, they might wipe out all of the albinos and cause a calamity or something. I don't know what's gonna happen there. Don't know if I remember anything related to this quest before. But it probably doesn't end well. Also, I'm like, giant wolf? Do I get to see giant wolf? Show me giant wolf. So there should be drug dealers like right here. And yet, there tweren't. Where could it be? Well, the conversation would probably take a while anyway, and we're about out of time. Let's just do a little bit of fast travel to make the game save. I've learned. Maybe spend some of these nuts, actually. Is the game gonna make me... Uh-oh. Leave me alone. Go fuck yourself. Bye-bye. I did such a good job, didn't I? The frame hitching combined with the motion blur is insane looking. Like the game just looks like it's losing its goddamn mind. Intense motion blur does not mix well with anything that stops the motion. And that just gives you like a frozen smear. Might as well do some commerce. I think I've got nuts to trade. At all. One nut. Alright, so not my proudest. Attempts were made. Still a healthy amount of healing items and matches, so it should be perfectly capable of dealing with the Shop Nagadir tomorrow morning. Before maybe pivoting to then continuing on any remaining quests. Or diagnosis. Whatever makes sense at that point.